All right, so I've been asked a few times about how I record or track guitars at home. So I thought I would do a quick video on explaining how I go about recording guitars for writing at home or for producing with other people, and explain some of the whys about why I do it this way. So to start, my signal chain is guitar into a Radial Pro 48, and then I'm taking a signal from the 48 into my quad cortex, which is then going into my interface. I take another DI signal from the 48 directly into my interface, and a separate output from the interface back into the quad cortex and the second input, but I'll explain why I do this later. In my DAW, I'll set up a couple different tracks per guitar part. One is the stereo tone coming from the quad cortex being printed as is with all tones, amps, all that sort of stuff on it. And the other is the mono raw DI coming straight from the Pro 48 on the separate channel. I get all my levels set on my interface and then just start writing, tracking, editing, whatever it is I'm working on at that time. A key thing is to make sure that when I'm editing the printed guitar and the raw DI in unison so that they stay in sync throughout the project. Otherwise, you can completely lose track on what edits you've made and you have to kind of restart. Once I'm happy with the editing that I've done on those parts and everything is sounding good, in my DAW, I will then send that newly edited DI back out into the quad cortex, switching the cortex to input 2 rather than the original input 1 that we tracked on, and re-record that new clean take back into the session using the quad cortex with all the edits included and baked into that final take. This is basically the same as sort of reamping, but you're just taking a cleanly edited DI and then feeding it back into your amp without any of sort of the string noise or any errors that you might have made while tracking the printed tone. I think it helps make the final guitar take sound more like a singular clean take rather than a bunch of edited ones put together. A great benefit of doing it this way is because I have the raw DIs alongside the printed tones. It means essentially I can just go back at any point and start changing amps, pedals, cabs, effects, and then just re-record it again with the new changes that I've made instead of having to go back and track it again. It also means that if you're sending your songs off to be reamped or produced or mixed by somebody else, they've got those raw DIs in case they need to make some changes. It's really hard to make those changes with completely printed tones, so it's great to include the DIs. This is a great solution for me as someone that's used plugins for years. Switching to the quad cortex to record guitars was a little bit of a change in workflow, but it's actually really helped me with being more productive rather than spending time constantly editing tones instead of actually just sitting down and writing. I hope some of you found this helpful, but if you have any questions, please just leave a comment and I'll do my best to help.